Afternoon. It's July, or it will be tomorrow, which means it's time for the next writing update. This will be a quick one. I've not managed to keep it under 10 minutes yet, but we're getting closer. But I hardly have any news. Pledges to take a second, and I've been hardly doing any reading. So, friends and family, be short and sweet as well. So, without further ado, we'll just crack on with the news. So a couple of key important things this month, one of which is I decided to get Memories Stirred, but one of the other edited. So I've been putting the feelers out and been in contact with a couple of people, one of which quite a lot just recently, and we've agreed some terms to move forward with. It's given me a nice deadline, a nice target to aim for and put some pressure on. Because based on the second thing I'll just reveal to you in a second, it means I'm up against it, which is good, because I'm one of those people that if I know I've got a long time and I've got plenty of time to do something, I'll leave it and I'll leave it and I'll leave it. I work better under pressure. So that's good. I'm making some notes on the experience and the bits and pieces, so I'll share those when I'm in a position to, but so far I could hardly recommend finding somebody out there who you get on with and you can talk to about the various approaches you want to take and what their experience is. Certainly something I was after. I've got no experience in that sort of thing, so it was really good to speak to the person who's going to be doing the do for me in September, and obviously I'll reveal more as we get closer to that time. Second piece of news is I feel like I'm constantly on these, constantly, it's only the third one, constantly on these video logs. Telling you how I've not achieved what I was going to achieve, and making excuses, which it sometimes does feel like, I won't lie. But the purpose of pledging, as I'll go on to in a second, to you guys is to make me accountable, so that even when I do change things, I'm not making excuses. I'm thinking it through and reflecting on it, and is it the right thing for me, for what I'm trying to achieve. So the bit of news is I've stopped Memories Stirred at the point I was rewriting a couple of chapters, and I've thrown away everything I'd written in the first draft. I'm not throwing it away, it's in a save file. I'm reusing some of the dialogue, but I basically re-outlined the whole second half of the book, and a bit of the first half, which makes it fun, especially with that deadline I just talked about of September. So I've done the whole outline. I've now got to do a first draft again of every chapter from chapter 6 onwards. I'll talk about where I am in a second when we get to the pledges. But that's going to give me some challenges. Might turn out to not be the right thing, but it feels a lot better. I must admit, even the first drafts I'm doing so far, I'm so much happier with. I'm enjoying writing them. I've had to get up a little bit earlier in the morning, and now getting up at 5, so I can get an hour and a half in before I go to work. And that's a challenge, it has to be said. I'm a tad tired in the evening, especially with the hours I'm working. But it's all worth it, I think, and it seems to be flying along. It seems to be the story's so much better, so much more interesting and exciting. It's only an action adventure sci-fi book. This isn't, a book to change the world by, but it was just dull. Big decision, hard choice, but feels like the right one. So we'll crack on and see how we get. In fact, I'll give you some more detail in the pledges. So pledges is going to roll it all up into one on the basis that I've done very little of what I said I was going to do, which was to do the second draft of chapters 6 to 16 of Memories Stirred. Now, like I just said, I've decided to rewrite the second half, and actually based on the outline I've redone, it's probably going to be around 19 to 20 chapters. I'm on chapter 11 at the moment of first draft, and I'm second drafting a lot tighter in the background as I go along based on the time. Bit of risk with that, but we'll see how we go. I've got an overall deadline of the middle of August to get it all first and second drafted done. I've had to work that timetable around the releasing of each chapter on Wattpad, because I still want to keep to that structure of releasing a chapter every Thursday. Overall, that again adds additional pressure, but again gives me that drive. Not only first draft can tend to get away from me, I remember that from the first time, and you get caught up in the word count. But by having the weekly schedule to pop something on Wattpad, it means I've got to go back and edit and redo. But giving myself a good 2 to 3 weeks between having written the first draft and going back to the second draft on each one. There's a couple of chapters I've had to do a bit tighter than that just because of logistics. But we'll see how they go. Those chapters I'm asking so my alpha reader to spend a bit more time on. So them's the pledges. Overall, what I'm going to do now is aim for that middle of August date. So I'll update you on that at the end of July. So that's it for June. July's just over the horizon, and I expect July to be manic. So we'll see where we are in a couple of weeks, and I'll speak to you again then. As usual, any comments, any thoughts, leave them on YouTube comments or on my blog, and I'll respond to every single one. Speak soon. Take care. Bye. So that's it for June.